Hello again. So today I'm going to talk to you about RSD, Rejection Sensitivity Dysphoria, and this is aimed mostly to those of you who may have ADHD. I don't know if people who don't have ADHD, if they also have RSD. It was a new one on me, although I have had RSD. I didn't know it. I didn't know I had ADHD either since I was very young. But that's all another story. Today, in this video, I want to focus on the RSD because I recognize the episodes that I got that I thought were just some character flaw of mine, but I have learned in recent years about rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and that it's an aspect of ADHD. And so some of you will identify with this. And so what I want to talk about is, so what do you do about it? It has been my mission to find out, what do I do about this terrible, distressing thing that happens to me every so often at the most inopportune moments. So that will all be revealed as I go through it. So I'm going to talk about 6 really good reasons why tapping, or emotional freedom technique, otherwise known as EFT, why tapping is really, really useful and helpful for addressing rejection sensitivity dysphoria. I will call it RSD for the rest of the video. Lots of people who are in the field of energy psychology, like, for example, Bruce Lipton, David Feinstein, James Cousteau. James Cousteau is a specialist in ADHD, and I'm delighted to hear somebody who specializes in the ADHD actually link the tapping in specifically to that and to the issue of RSD. And Bessel van der Kolk, the author of The Body Keeps the Score, and people like that who really are experts in their field, but are linking the use of tapping specifically for addressing RSD. So 6 reasons, and the 6 reasons are this. One is it's well known and tried and tested for calming the nervous system, the tapping. And I'm going to tap as I talk through this, because I am likely to get triggered into RSD while I'm talking about it, because it doesn't take very much to get me going. I've even got a hanky here in case I start to cry, because it just comes on just like that. Those of you who are aware of this know it can just come on just like that when you're just talking normally. So firstly, it calms the nervous system. The tapping also, it interrupts emotional triggers. It releases emotional residues, that things that haven't been totally processed, maybe historically. There's a lot of stuff in our unconscious. It's empowering. It gives us a sense of personal empowerment, and the tapping also reduces the physical discomfort and sensitivity, and it's, in the longer term, it supports neuroplasticity. So let me break that all down and go into it in a bit more detail. So firstly, the tapping, which fundamentally the main tapping is top of the head, inside the eyebrows, sides of the eye, under the eyes, under the nose, crease of the chin, in the corners of your collarbones there. And that's enough. That actually will do it. It's quick and easy. So tuning into the feeling. So when you're having an attack of RSD, tapping, I find just even doing this, or sometimes if I'm really stuck and I'm not nobody can see me. If I'm on Zoom talking to somebody, and actually it's not very many people or situations that trigger it. It's usually RSD is about talking to people. They're usually people that you care about, who matter to you, like my children. Would be the three people in the world that I would be most likely to get one of these attacks with, because um, I am highly hypersensitive to old feelings, and I can feel it now that my mind's going back to when I was an immature parent and they were little, and I felt, when I think back, like such a failure as a mum. And so the tapping now, while I'm in this, is I'm going to keep on tapping and I'm going to keep on talking. It calms the nervous system, and my amygdala gets hijacked, as some of you will identify with this, and you go into a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn situation. But with that, the triggering, see, it's passed over now, is a tightening in the throat, and the throat tightens so much you can't speak and carry on talking. So the tapping has helped me to carry on, and my prefrontal cortex, that thinking part of my brain, to hold on to what it is I'm wanting to do here, which is explain how tapping settles and calms the nervous system while I'm in the midst of an amygdala hijack. So the explanation for that is that RSD fundamentally is a very intense physiological reaction to a deep-seated perceived sense of rejection, disapproval, failure, not good enough, not lovable, just not being okay. All of those feelings, and that can be quite overwhelming, to the point where it becomes impossible to speak, and there's just crying and tears, when actually you just wanted to wish somebody a happy birthday, and you find yourself all choked up and crying, and they are bewildered as to what's going on. So the tapping does, if you do it at the time, it helps. It helps obviously if the person that you're speaking to understands that this is a thing. Most of my life, until recent times, I didn't actually, even though I understood about ADHD, I came to understand about it, and I came to understand about, I know about triggering in the work that I do, and I certainly know about the benefits of tapping, but I didn't realize that RSD was actually a thing. Um, so, uh, so firstly, the tapping does help to calm the overwhelm and reset the amygdala. The second thing is that it interrupts the emotional triggers and negative thought patterns. So I was thinking about explaining to you about the tapping and the RSD, because the tapping does actually um, interrupt those thought and feeling patterns. And the third thing is it releases emotional residues and subconscious beliefs. So I was able to say to you, it only happens with my own children, who I love dearly, and they matter to me. And if they didn't matter, I wouldn't have that reaction. And if I didn't have the memories and the thoughts that I have, I wouldn't say I'm doing it again. So even though I'm feeling these sad feelings and feelings of inadequacy as a young woman, I am able to keep tapping and keep talking to you about it. So it is releasing emotional residues and subconscious beliefs. And you know, I'm 78 years old now, and these beliefs and feelings go very deep. And I'm making myself vulnerable actually telling you all this. Um, because RSD is fueled by entrenched unconscious beliefs. These beliefs, it's not just about being a young mum, it's about being a child feeling totally inadequate, a child who was adopted and, well, kind of fostered at weeks old and feeling abandoned and rejected. So the tapping provides a safe way to acknowledge and release these emotions, and in doing it and in tapping while I'm doing it, I'm able to carry on talking, and it's reprogramming my mind's response to these rejection triggers. So the fourth thing is it empowers. It's very empowering because you do it yourself. You don't have to be with an expert and you don't have to be in a therapy session. Although if you can't do it and you don't know how to get into it, I would recommend seeing a therapist. But through doing the tapping, you do regain a sense of self-regulation. It's a way of regulating yourself when you're feeling out of or dysregulated emotionally. So whenever these RSD symptoms arise, it helps you to feel a bit more in control of your emotional responses. And that's what it's doing for me right now. And I hope you're still with me and able to bear with me as I go through this quite vulnerable process. So the explanation for this is um, in an RSD kind of episode, you can feel quite helpless and at the mercy of your emotions. So the tapping does actually, it is quite a reliable technique for managing these emotions and empowering yourself. And I'm empowering myself now to have a I'm not right into one, but I could get into one. But it helps me to keep some control in getting through this video. So the fifth use of the tapping is it reduces the physical as well as the emotional sensitivity, and to do this regularly if and when I have an episode, and I do intend um, to do that and to use it. You feel a bit silly if you're talking to somebody about something meaningful, and as I say, it is mostly my children, but you know, it's kind of coming out and unmasking and saying, this is a thing for me, this RSD. And I just get a hijack that comes on me. And please forgive me, I'm going to tap while I'm talking to you because I might get into an episode. So it desensitizes the emotional reaction. It creates a sense of safety to any perceived rejection or disapproval, you know. And uh, the last thing is it supports neuroplasticity. It's helping me to rewire myself. And hopefully you too, the more that we learn to do this and tap while we're triggered, then we're creating new neural pathways and rewiring the old deep-seated feelings of rejection and the rejection triggers. So this rewiring effect can make a lasting difference to reducing the RSD over time. So I hope you find that useful. I'd love it if you leave some comments. If you find it helpful or useful, click like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And I hope you have found it useful, and I would really, really appreciate it if you let me know if you did find it useful. So bye for now.